Yeah, morning all. Sorry, good evening all. Right. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So today I go with Python, right? Python versions, installations, execution modes, right? So before that, what is PSF? Python Software Foundation, right? Python Software Foundation. PSF. It is a non-profit organization. It is a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. It was launched in the year 2001, right? Non-profit organization devoted towards Python. It was launched in the year 2001. The objective of this PSF, right, is to foster the development of Python, from version to version to foster the development of Python. And in the year 2005, right, PSF, Python Software Foundation, PSF received Computer World Horizon Award, right? Computer World Horizon Award. The president for this PSF, Guido van Rossum, right? Guido van Rossum. Official, okay, president is Guido van Rossum. Official website. Okay, the headquarters, where it is located, right? The person, who is the president for this PSF is nothing but Guido van Rossum. Is the same personality who has introduced Python, right? The same personality is the president for this PSF, headquarters, Delaware, US. Official website, python.org. Official website, the python.org is the official website, right? Okay, Python Software Foundation. Okay, next is Python versions, right? You need to know some Python versions. Python 1.x version, Python 1.x version. It was released in the year 1989. Python 2.x version, right? 2.x nothing but 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. The first two version was released in the year 2000, right? Yes. Python 3 version, the version what we are using currently is Python 3, right? Python 3.x. It was released in the year 2008. Yes, latest version of Python. Latest version of Python. Latest version of Python is like Python 3.11. Stable version is stable version of Python. Stable version of Python. Stable version is nothing but mostly used version. Nothing but mostly used version. Python 3.9, right? Yes, stable version of Python. Python 3.9. Python installation. So before I install Python, right? Yes. Go to settings. Apps. Apps and features, right? Python 3.11.4, right? Yes. This is the latest version. I'm uninstalling this version, right? I'm uninstalling. So Python provides multiple softwares for multiple versions, multiple softwares for multiple like Mac OS, for Linux, for Windows, right? For different operating systems, right? Different OS, different softwares. And again in Windows, for Linux, no need of any separate installation, right? For Windows, 32-bit, it provides separate software. For Windows 64-bit, it provides separate software, right? How will you check whether your Windows is a 32-bit or 64-bit? How will you check whether your Windows is a 32 or 64-bit means? So if you just open this PC, my PC or computer, right, and right click on your PC or computer and click the property, what it is saying, 4-bit operating system. (64-bit operating system). Okay. If it is 32-bit, you are supposed to download 32-bit Python software. If it is 64-bit, you are supposed to download 64-bit Python software. Yes. So this uninstallation is successful, right? Yes. Just open your browser, right? Chrome browser. And what is the official website of Python? Python.org is the official website, right? www.python.org. Python.org is the official website from where we can download Python, from where we can install Python. So here within the downloads folders, all releases, click this all releases, right? Scroll down a little bit. Active Python releases are there. Looking for a specific release. And looking for a specific release. Okay. Can you see right 3.11.4, 3.11.4, right? Can click this 3.11.4, that is the latest version. So it was released. When it was released, you can check it, right? Yes. 3.11.4, June 6, 2023. Almost like 10 days ago it was released. 10 days ago this version was released, right? Yes. Click it and go to the bottom of this page. Windows installer 32-bit, Windows installer 64-bit. Yes. Click it. Your download starts. It's just 24 MB of size, right? The Python software is just 24 MB of size. I said Python is supporting 89,300 inbuilt modules, right? It's providing 89,300 inbuilt modules. All those modules you are not going to get along with the Python software. If you get all the modules along with Python software, then its software size won't be of 24 MB. It will be in GBs, right? Yes. Okay.
Sorry, what are all of them? Like Windows embedded package 64-bit.
So for Windows, right? So this is what Windows installer is experimental, and this Windows installer, this is what recommended, right? This for Windows, this is recommended, and for Mac OS, this is the universal installer, and for Linux, Tarball. Yes. So this is what this is clearly you can see that for Mac OS 0.10.9 or later, and for Windows, this is recommended, and this is what experimental. And for embedded kind of applications, right, you can just go with other packages.
Can I install Python 32-bit on 64
Yes,
on Windows 64?
32 can be installed in 32 as well as 64. It works.
Oh, okay.
But 64 cannot work on 32. So 32 can work on any system. Windows installer 32-bit can work on any system.
Is any can you see any advantage over 32-bit using a 64-bit on those machines? Any performance improvement or anything like that?
No, not like that. Only the interpreter, Python interpreter, right? You won't see any change in the code or anything, but only if it is Windows, depending upon your OS, if it is not supporting 64-bit, you need to go with. So it is providing separately, right? There is no change in the code, and performance wise, you won't see any difference. And
For
here,
industry wise, currently are you using a 64-bit?
so if you have got Windows 7 like that, you go for 32-bit. Windows old versions of Windows. So currently everywhere 64-bit only it is used. Windows installer 64-bit only is used, right?
Okay, thank you.
Means there are some systems which won't support 64-bit installations. If your system is too old, it won't support installing, it won't support Windows installer. And even for example, if you've got Windows 7 or Windows 8, this 3.11 version won't be supported. You are supposed to go with the 3. See here, if you observe carefully, if you are installing this 3. Down, okay, 3.11.4. So this 3.11. So people who has got Windows 7, they need to go with 3.7 or before. Okay.
Sorry, one more question on this one. Why there is an EMD at the end for the executable?
What is it?
Sorry, can you look at the executable you downloaded just now? Python 3.11.4.
Yes.
Then AMD at the end, .exe.
ERM does this one.
No. Can you open that one in your downloadable file
This one.
in
Yes.
folder? Yeah.
Yeah, this one you're talking .exe.
Yeah, .exe. There is AMD at the end.
AMD 64.
Yeah.
AMD, that's the name it's given, right?
And this is only for the AMD processor only, or
No, not like that. For any processor, it will works.
okay.
So it works with anything, right? 64-bit Windows installer 64-bit, right? It was going to work on any Windows. In 64-bit Windows, it will work, right? So if you click it, if you click it, right, you will get install now and customize installation. Don't immediately go for installation. Don't immediately go for installing this. So add Python to path variable of OS, right? Add Python to OS path. Click it. Now, no need to set the environment variables if you click it, right? Go for customize installation. Go for select this add Python to path. Go for customize installation. No need to select anything, right? Everything are pre-selected. Everything are pre-selected, right? It's documentation, pip, ideally. Python test suite, file launcher. So all these are selected. No need to select anything. So you are going to get documentation. Pip is what for downloading or installing the modules which are not available in Python software, right? Ideally integrated development learning environment where we are going to write the Python code, right? Python test suite. Next, say next, nothing to select here. Just say next. Here also nothing to select, but if you see the installation location, so see the location where it is getting installed by default in C users, Dell, app data, local, programs, Python 3.11. C users, Dell, app data, local, programs, Python 3.11, right? Yes. So it is getting installed in some subdirectories, right? Tomorrow, if you want to install any module also, you need to locate your Python and you need to give this entire path for installing your any modules of Python, right? Data science related, database related, all these modules we are supposed to download and install. So for that, you need to know this Python location. So instead of using this very big location, right? Just I want to install Python within the C drive. That's it. Keep your mouse before this Python 3.11 and just keep all this, remove this, right? C:/Python 3.11. Install, just say C:/Python 3.11/install, right? Yes. So just installing this Python 3.11 folder is going to get created. Within this Python 3.11 folder, this Python is going to get installed within the C drive. Say install, right? Yes. So yes, it hardly takes 1 minute to install Python. Once it gets installed, let us check whether it is successfully installed or not. Yes. Later, I'll be showing you on IDs, different IDs, right? In real time, we use IDs like PyCharm, Jupyter, Spider, Eclipse. These IDs, right? PyCharm is the mostly used one. How to download and how to install and how to run the code, right? Within these IDs. Setup was successful. Close it. Now, go to the command prompt, right? Go to the command prompt by typing CMD in the search, right? Now say type Python, Python, and say enter. So it is displaying the Python version, right? 3.11.4 is displaying the Python version 3.11.4. And the interpreter is open, right? Interpreter is opened. Okay. So it was released on June 7th, right? Here you can type any valid Python statements. 5 plus 2, x is 10, y is 4. What is x? What is y? What is x plus y? X minus y. In this way, you can just interact with Python statement. X equal to Ajay, y equal to Kumar. X plus y, Ajay plus Kumar. Ajay Kumar, you get right? Yes. In this way, any valid Python statements you can type, it's working, right? So Python is installed successfully. If you want to come out of it, say quit. Say enter. Wait, it quits, come out of it, right? Yes. So that is what installation of, right? So if anyone who are using Python within the Linux environment, no need of any installation, Python comes as inbuilt within the Linux OS. But if you want the latest version of Python to be installed, right, in your Linux machine, then say sudo apt-get install apt-get install Python 3.11, right? Yes, Python 3 apt, everything you do from the root user, right, in Linux. So sudo apt-get install. This command is going to download and install Python in your Linux machine, right? Yes. Next, Python execution modes. Python execution modes, right? Yes. Two modes of execution. Two modes of execution. Python execution modes. Two modes of execution, right? Yes. Interactive mode and batch mode. First one is like interactive mode. Second is like batch mode. Interactive mode, here we directly type Python statements. As just now I said, right? Here we directly type Python statements. Here we directly type Python statements on the interpreter. And the user can easily interact. We directly type Python statements on the interpreter and the user can easily interact. Python statement by statement. can easily interact with Python statement by statement. And the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. For every statement, it gives response, right? So here, what is the advantage of this interactive mode? The advantage is, right? See, to test the functionalities of Python, if you doesn't know about particular functions, right, you can just type here in the interactive mode and you can just check what response it is going to provide. To check the functionalities. To check the functionalities of Python and to learn Python. To check the functionalities and to learn Python. Batch mode, right? Here, batch mode. Here we write set of statements. Here we write set of statements within the editors or IDEs. Here we write set of statements within the editors or IDEs and save it by using .py. See, this interactive mode can't be used for developing applications, right? Only for interacting with Python to test the functionalities of Python and for learning Python. This interactive mode works better. But for developing applications, we need to go for batch mode. Here we write set of statements within the editors, right? Save it by using .py extension, and later submit it to Python. And later submit it to Python. So what are the various editors where we can write the Python code and what are the various IDEs? Various editors where we can write the Python code. Within the notepad, you can write this Python code and create a .py file. Within the edit plus, you can write this Python code, and in Linux environment, VI and nano. Various editors, notepad, edit plus VI, nano. Okay. And what are the various IDs where, so various IDs where we can write the Python code, right? Various IDs supported by Python. So PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse. So PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse. NetBeans, PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter Notebook, right? Jupyter Notebook. VS Code. Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter, VS Code, right? And among all these, PyCharm is the mostly used one, right? PyCharm is the mostly used one. PyCharm is the mostly used, right? Yes. So we may ask why these many IDs for Python, why not one or two? So Python is used for different environments, right? So different environments use different IDs. For data science, Jupyter Notebook is mostly preferred. Spider is preferred. Even for big data, Spider is preferred. Jupyter is preferred. Jupyter Notebook, right? And for typical web applications, PyCharm is mostly preferred. VS Code is preferred, right? So depending upon the environment to environment, different IDs are used. So among all this, PyCharm is the mostly used one, right? Yes, I'll be showing you how to download, how to install, and how to run the code within these different IDs. I'll be showing you this Anaconda distribution where we can get all these IDs, right? Yes. Okay. Next, developing the first Python application. First Python application within a editor. Within editor, right? Example like Notepad. Within the Notepad, how we can within the Notepad. Open Notepad and type the following. Open Notepad and type the following Python statements. Okay. As of now, we didn't discuss anything about Python, right? Just I'll be taking two values and I want to perform some kind of arithmetic operations, right? Print x plus y, print x minus y, print x into y, print x by y, right? Print x by y. X plus y, x minus y, x into y, and x by y. Okay. I'll just copy this to a separate notepad file. So just I'll copy this to a separate notepad. File, save. By DM batch, right? Yes. Open it and just say sample1.py extension, right? Yes. Now submit this file. So save as sample1.py, right? Yes. Save as sample1.py and submit this file. And now submit this file to Python. Open command prompt cmd and type this Python and give the entire file path where it is available within the C drive /Python 7 p.m. batch. Sample1.py. The file name, where it is available in which folder and in which drive, right? We need to give the entire path, the py file, where in which folder, Python 7 p.m. and in which drive, C drive, and give that entire file path to Python. Say enter. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. So you got the output, right? Yes. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So writing this within the notepad, you can create a .py file and submit this file to Python. Yes. Here, what is your observation, right? Here, what is your observation? You're writing, okay, just observe this. Here, we are writing the code. We are writing the code at one place. And executing at the other place. We are writing the code at one place and executing at other place. But to write and execute, you're writing the code at one place. Where you are writing? Within the notepad. And executing at the other place. Where you are executing at the other place? Command prompt. But to write and execute. But to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE, which comes along with IDLE, which comes along with Python, installation, and using which write and execute, and using which we can write and execute at the same place. And using which we can write and execute at the same place. Okay, so I'll just show you how to open this IDLE, integrated development learning environment, and how to write this code and execute the code at the same place. Here the problem is we are writing the code within the notepad and executing at the command prompt, but I want to write and execute at the same place. So go for IDLE. So at the bottom in this search, you can say IDLE, directly this IDLE gets open, and click it. Otherwise, you can just go to the start programs, go to all apps, check all your, where is your Python available, right? Python 3.11. The first thing what we see here is IDLE. Click that IDLE, right? Yes. IDLE gets open in interactive mode, right? Yes. Okay, here if you want, you can interact, right? It's 3 plus 4. And here file, new file. File, new file, right? Yes. Okay. Now you can write the code here itself and you can execute the code here itself. Run option is there, right? So just go to the start programs, go to the Python 3.11. The first thing you see is Python 3.11. That is ideally you can see, right? In Python 3.11, you can see ideally. Click it, right? It's okay. Okay, you can write the code here itself. Just you can run it here itself, right? File, save. If you save, right? File, save. 7 p.m. batch. Within this Python 7 p.m. right? Sample2.py, right? Yes. Here itself we are writing, here itself we are executing. Run module, right? Yes. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Yes. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Yes. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. You got the output, right? Yes. 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 Understood, right? So this is what Python software foundation. So what we are discussed today, right? Python software foundations, like PSF, Python versions, Python installation, Python execution modes, working with editors and IDs. This IDs, I'll be discussing that once we're done with a little bit of technical content, right? I'll show you how to install this PyCharm, Spider, Jupyter, VS Code, all this, right? Yes. Okay. And any queries, right? Any queries, right? Next, I'll be going to the technical, like how exactly this data types and variables, what happens when you define a variable, how it is stored, how this memory is allocated, how to print its content, how to print its address, and data type of it, address of it, content of it, right? And how an object is going to get created internally within this memory, right? Yes. So we'll have a session tomorrow also, right? Tomorrow it's a Saturday, but still for continuation to these sessions, right? We'll have a session tomorrow at same time, 7 o'clock, to discuss more on this, right? Data types and variables, right? Fine. Any queries, right? Anyone have got any queries as part of today's session? Okay. Tomorrow also you can follow the same timing, same link, right? 7 p.m. Same link to see more on this, right? Yes. Tomorrow my discussion will be on Python variables and data types and what happens internally, how they're getting stored, right? Fine. So I'll stop for now and we'll continue tomorrow, more discussion, right? Yes. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow.